I supported my mum for years after my sister ran away. But when her favorite daughter returned with a kidnapped child, my mum kicked me out of the house and then begged for help when my sister was arrested. 5 years ago, my oldest sister Jackie ran away with her worthless boyfriend, who had dropped out of college. Let's call him Scott. She was 20 at the time and he was 21. They had already been together for 5 years. They were inseparable since high school. Our family never approved of him because he was always getting into trouble. He struggled with his studies and Scott constantly had problems at school. In high school, he developed bad habits and started getting into things he shouldn't have. My parents always wanted Jackie to break up with him, but she was determined to be with him and there was little we could do. Even when we argued about him, she continued to see him. She didn't care that he wasn't right for her. Then, 5 years ago, my father had a massive heart attack and died. I had just turned 19 and I still remember how my whole world collapsed at that moment. Even then, Jackie didn't spend less time with Scott. In fact, she invited him to the funeral, knowing that we had a strained relationship with him. He showed up completely wasted. That's when we said we had had enough of this crap. Mum and I made it clear that we wouldn't tolerate it anymore and she would have to choose. So Jackie just ran away with him because we said we would no longer support her financially if she stayed with him. It was hard for us to accept, but Jackie was an adult and we couldn't stop her. So for the last 5 years, we haven't spoken to her. She cut off contact herself. After my father's death, I decided not to go to college but to work to support the family financially. My mum had been a homemaker all her life. She could have found a job, but I didn't want that. She even offered to get a job as a secretary to pay for my education. But we had always had a comfortable standard of living, and I didn't want to give that up. Besides, my father also started working at 18 and didn't go to college. If he could do it, so could I. I believed in myself, started small with a low-paying internship, but then I moved up, and now I'm stable. I work in sales, and I think I've managed to maintain the standard of living my father set. Of course, it also helped that he left us some money after his death. We survived on that money while I was earning little. My mum was also very helpful. In the beginning, she did everything possible so I wouldn't have to do chores after work and was generally very resourceful. We did our best all this time, and for the last 5 years, we've been doing well. Of course, we missed Jackie, but there was nothing we could do about it. Although I was the sole breadwinner in the house for all these 5 years and supported my mum, I always knew that she missed Jackie very much because she had been her favorite since childhood. She never treated me badly, but it was obvious that she had a soft spot for her older daughter. When she ran away, a huge void was left in my mum's heart, and I understood that. She no longer talked about her, pretending she didn't have a daughter. It was just the two of us. I got used to it. But then, about 10 days ago, after 5 years, Jackie appeared on our doorstep with a little boy. He looked no older than 3 or 4, and my mum and I were home when they came. I looked through the peephole and was stunned. But my mum didn't even discuss it with me and just opened the door. As soon as I told her who was there, she didn't even ask if I wanted them to come in. But I forgave her for that because you could feel how she was both worried and happy at the same time. After all, she is a mother. Mum immediately hugged Jackie and led her into the house with the boy, whom my sister introduced as her son. Both of them looked terrible. Jackie looked like she had shrunk to half her size. It was clear that they had been suffering for a long time. Their clothes were dirty, old, with some strange patches. Their hair was greasy, as if they hadn't washed in a long time. But what was most alarming was her appearance. She had lost a lot of weight, looking emaciated. Jackie had always been chubby, and seeing her in this state was a shock to us. She had bags under her eyes, and damn, it was just painful to look at her. I had a terrible feeling when I saw her for the first time in 5 years. I can't put into words how awful it was. It was obvious that she had been living in very poor conditions in recent years. So, although I was hesitant to let them in, I couldn't blame my mum for letting them into the house. As soon as they came in, my mum instantly forgot everything that had happened before and immediately started talking to them, comforting them because she understood what they had been through. Then Jackie started to tell us that after she and Scott ran away, it was very difficult for them. He dropped out of college, she also dropped out of her studies, and they had no one who could offer them a job. It was still easier for me. I used family connections to get my first internship, and she had no one who could help her. They were literally living from hand to mouth. After a few weeks of struggle, they managed to get a very low-paying job. That's how they had been living for the last few years. They changed jobs a couple of times, but they couldn't move up like I did, so things were very bad for them for a long time. Lately, Jackie and Scott had been fighting a lot. After their son was born, things got really bad. In the end, he started cheating on her, and a couple of weeks ago kicked Jackie out of the house. She had nowhere to go, so she came to the place she knew would take her in home. She wanted to apologize to us for everything and come back into our lives. I wanted to discuss it with my mum first before deciding anything, but before I could say a word, she had already said that they had nothing to worry about anymore because now she was home and she would take care of them. This shocked me a little because I was the only one earning money and it directly concerned me. We were supposed to discuss it, but she had already decided everything. And Jackie looked so happy that I didn't want to spoil their mood. It was only later, when they went to wash up, that I took my mum aside and asked if she was serious about all this. After all, we hadn't spoken to them for 5 years and had no idea how they had ended up in such a state. Jackie said that she and Scott had jobs, which meant they should have had some money to live at least a little decently. Well, judging by their appearance, it seemed that the money was being spent on something else entirely. And I began to suspect that maybe she was hooked on drugs or something similar, but it couldn't be that they were working and looking like that. If they were involved in something shady and illegal, I didn't want to accept Jackie back into our lives so quickly. We needed to think, but my mum completely disagreed. She said that after 5 years, my sister had finally come home, and now it was our duty as a family to take care of her. Mum made it clear that she didn't care what Jackie had been up to in the past. Since she had returned, it meant she wanted to turn her life around. And if she didn't want to, she wouldn't have come back. And since she was asking for help, we had no right to turn away and act suspiciously and strangely. There was some sense in that, so I decided to give them a chance, even though I didn't trust them completely. But just 2 days after their return, my mum sat me down to talk while Jackie was looking for a job and her son was sleeping. And then she said that she wanted me to find my own place to live now that my sister was back. I was stunned. I completely didn't understand her logic, but she explained that there were only 2 rooms in the house. Mum had been sleeping on the couch for the last 2 days because Jackie and her son had taken her room. So my mum decided that I should move out and start living on my own in my own apartment. I suggested maybe Jackie should sleep in the living room then, if it was so complicated, but my mum said she didn't want that. They should feel accepted in the family. And anyway, she couldn't kick them out of the room as she had already promised them it would be theirs. This deeply hurt me. My mum was basically kicking me out onto the street, despite the fact that I had supported her for 5 years and was the only one who was there for her. And now that her favorite daughter had returned, I was just forgotten. All that mattered to her was that Jackie was comfortable. I wasn't jealous, but I was definitely angry and felt humiliated. It felt like my mother had betrayed me. Instead of trying to understand my point of view, my mum accused me of just being jealous of Jackie and said she knew it. I always had problems with her, but behaving this way was unacceptable. My mother acted as if I was some jealous and insecure child because of my sister's return. She even said that I had been alone with her for so many years, and that should be enough. So now I shouldn't behave this way. She wanted me to make just one small sacrifice for the good of Jackie and her son because they had been through terrible things. So I should show some compassion. This all escalated into a serious argument, and I packed my things and left that same day. A few days have passed since then. I'm staying with a friend because I can't find a place so quickly, but it seems I'll have to go back to my mum's because of what happened 4 days ago. After I left, I decided not to talk to my mum. She really pissed me off and I was in a terrible mood. I put her on silent mode and blocked Jackie. I didn't want either of them to be able to reach me and I didn't know what was going on after I left. And then 4 days ago, my mum called me in tears. Of course, I got worried right away. She said that the police came to their house and arrested Jackie. And it seems that my mum herself is now under investigation. I was in shock. I suspected something was fishy, but I didn't think it would come to an arrest. And when my mum told me the real reason she was arrested, I was even more stunned. It turned out that the child she brought with her wasn't hers at all. It wasn't her son, but it was definitely Scott's son. She just kidnapped him to get revenge on him or something like that. It was complete madness. And when my mum told me all this, it became clear that the matter was serious. She, of course, called to ask for my help. My mum explained that the boy was Scott's son from the woman he was cheating on Jackie with. When he kicked her out of the house, Jackie was furious, so she decided to steal this child. And the boy is only 3 years old. He didn't even understand what was happening, so he just went with Jackie. She apparently told him they were going to Disneyland, and then she started threatening that if he told anyone anything, she would make sure he never went home again. The police had been looking for her for a long time, but she was hard to track. She didn't even have a phone. In the end, they found her, and I'm really grateful for that. This is just crazy. I told my mum that she could have at least talked to me before letting Jackie and this boy into our house, because now she herself is under investigation. And even though the cops probably won't suspect her, since we haven't spoken to Jackie for many years, her reputation could still be ruined. If this gets out, on the phone, she asked me to help her find a lawyer and prove that she had nothing to do with it. I said I would help, but on the condition that she stops talking to Jackie because she put our whole family in a terrible position, and I'm not going to just forgive that. But my mum said that this demand was unfair because no matter what, Jackie is still our family, and she was counting on me to help her too, for example, to testify against Scott when the trial starts and try to save my sister. This is where it all started. We had a huge fight on the phone because I'm completely against it. I think Jackie should be held responsible for what she did. When you're betrayed, it hurts, I know that. And yes, it can lead to desperation, but that's no excuse to kidnap a child and endanger your whole family in the process. This is just insane behavior, and I'm not going to help my sister lie for her and go against my conscience. So I explained my position to my mum very clearly. But she said that I was once again showing my jealousy and insecurity, and that she was sorry she didn't raise a more compassionate son. My mum started acting as if I were the villain, and now I'm seriously starting to wonder, maybe I am, because I feel really bad. I don't know what the right thing to do is. Update 1. It's been 3 days since I published my post. Anyway, after reading the comments and thinking everything over, I decided to fulfill my duty to my mum and connected her with a good lawyer because I don't want her to suffer. But at the same time, if she decides to help Jackie and asks the lawyer to represent her interests as well, I will ask the lawyer to refuse. My duty is only to my mum, not to Jackie. She abandoned our family many years ago, and I no longer feel the slightest need to justify or help her. If my mum wants to, that's her business. I'm not interfering, but I won't do it myself, and I made that very clear. I can't believe my mum tried to make me feel guilty and portrayed me as the bad guy for not wanting to help my sister, who, by the way, is literally a kidnapper of small children. It was really unfair, but now there's nothing I can do to change it. I'm still staying with a friend and looking for an apartment. I know my mum won't go to jail. She has nothing to do with this at all. And everyone knows that we haven't spoken to Jackie for the last 5 years, but I'm still worried about her. Even though we're not talking right now, I'm still worried about her because after my father's death, we were alone together for so many years. She's the only one I have left. Our relationship is important to me, but I don't know. The only thing that calms me down a bit is that the lawyer I connected her with is a really smart woman, and she has a lot of experience in getting people out of similar situations. I'm counting on her. She even agreed to lower her fee just for me because I've been friends with her brother for a long time. We work together. For now though, I've decided not to talk to my mum. She hasn't shown any desire to talk to me since that call, even after the lawyer contacted her, agreed to take her case and represent her interests. My mum didn't call me, didn't even thank me. I don't know how to feel about this. I just hope she comes to her senses. Update 2. So, Jackie's trial has begun, and it's going to be a very difficult time for my mum. I'm pretty sure it won't be easy for her to watch her favorite daughter being tried. Since we last spoke on the phone, she hasn't tried to contact me, even though she's working with the same lawyer I found for her. I thought she would at least thank me, but nothing like that ever happened. In any case, I did everything I was supposed to, and now it's none of my business. She made it clear that she doesn't want me to be a part of her life. Until recently, we weren't talking, but at least she didn't block me. However, I recently found out that she blocked me on Facebook and even my phone number because I tried to call her to find out why she was blocking me on social media and realized I couldn't get through on the phone either. I could have called her from someone else's phone, but I didn't see the point. I just let it go, especially now that I clearly understood that she didn't want to talk to me or share what was going on with her. Hint taken. I told the lawyer not to give me any more updates on the case. My job was just to connect them, and I did that. From now on, it doesn't concern me, and I'm not going to waste my energy on it. But my apartment search is going well. I finally found a suitable option. The rent is a bit expensive, of course, but now that I don't have to support my mum anymore, I think I can handle it. At first, I was worried about how she would manage without my financial support, but then I thought if she was so confident in kicking me out and cutting me out of her life, she must have foreseen everything. I hope my mum doesn't come to me asking for money later, because after the way she treated me, I'm not going to support her anymore. I'm glad that in a few days, I'll finally be moving out of my friend's place. I think I've overstayed my welcome. Although he insists that I can stay with him as long as I want, I need my own space, just to be alone and process everything that has happened in the last few weeks, because a lot has really happened and I still haven't processed it. So maybe I'll take a couple of days off from work and just be by myself. I really need that. Right now, update 3. It's been 2 months since Jackie's trial began. It was quickly proven that my mum had nothing to do with this situation and didn't know that the child Jackie brought with her wasn't actually her son. She and her lawyer were able to prove that she wasn't involved. And after the charges were dropped, the lawyer conveyed that my mum had asked to thank me. When I heard that, I felt hurt because she could have contacted me herself and said it. But even after 2 months, she didn't want to talk to me. I don't even understand what she's still angry about. It's already been proven that Jackie is guilty, and I was right to refuse to help her. I really want to talk to her to speak my mind, but I'm not sure if it's worth it. And for a few days now, I can't decide what to do. Since the lawyer told me all this, I've had mixed feelings and I can't make up my mind. Right now, I'm doing well. I have a normal job and I'm supposed to be promoted soon. I have an apartment and I've been living alone for a couple of months. It's nice. Lonely, of course, but nice. I even started seeing someone and things are going their own way. But I really miss my mum. And yes, I know that most people in the comments said she's toxic and I should stay away from her, but she's still my mother. And in my opinion, you forget that after my father's death, she was the only person I had left. Yes, we had other relatives, but only she could truly share that pain with me. And I really miss her, despite everything that has happened. And probably the least I can do is talk to her once, but not on the phone. So I'm seriously thinking about contacting her and meeting at least once. Update 4. Many of you really advised me to talk to my mum. If I miss her so much, at least to close this story. And after a couple more days of thinking, I finally decided to contact her. When I tried to call, I realized she had unblocked me. She even answered the call almost immediately. We talked and agreed to meet the very next day. I came home to see her. She greeted me with a hug and burst into tears as soon as she saw me. She said she was terribly sorry for how she treated me. But according to her, she just lost her head when she saw Jackie after so many years and started acting like a complete fool. I didn't even have to justify myself. She admitted that everything I said back then was absolutely right and that she was the one who was wrong. She literally begged me for forgiveness and said that she has no one but me. And only now did she realize that her weakness for Jackie had blinded her. She didn't want to see how mentally unstable she had become. During the trial, she realized that Jackie was not only harming herself, her actions hurt the whole family. And I was right, not to want to help her or continue to have contact with her. My mum told me that it was very difficult for her to get pregnant with Jackie. Perhaps that's why she always considered her special. But now she realizes that it was a mistake and that she shouldn't have treated me the way she did. The admission that she had a weakness for Jackie was no surprise to me. It was always obvious. But when she said she wanted to work on herself and mend our relationship, I was really happy. And I know it's not about the money, because all this time, since I left, my uncle has been supporting her. She even got a remote job in his company. And that's what she's doing now, so I'm sure she's being sincere. She really wants to fix things. Nevertheless, we decided to continue living separately for now. Living alone has given me a new sense of independence. I can't live in my parents' house forever. I need to build my own life. So we decided to just keep in touch and see how things go in the coming months. But yes, I'm going to try to rebuild my relationship with my mum, and I hope we can make it work. Well, that's all. I'm waiting for your opinion on this story in the comments. Thank you for watching this video to the end. Watch our previous videos, which you will see right here. And good luck to you.